Alright, in this video I'm going to cover the differences between Google's two operating systems. On the left you have Chrome OS on the CR48, and on the right you have Android Honeycomb 3.0 on the Motorola Xoom. Now a lot of people wonder why Google has two operating systems. Well, Apple has two operating systems, OS X and iOS. Microsoft has two operating systems, Windows 7 and Windows Phone 7. Google has two operating systems because you have two different form factors and two different sets of needs, two different theories behind the operating systems. Now obviously on the left over here you have Chrome OS. The theory behind it is that it's a cloud-based operating system. So everything you do on it is based with Google Apps or apps that are in the App Store. Right here, the Web Store, the Chrome Web Store, which if you have any question you can actually access if you're running Chrome on your desktop computer. There are some signs of local storage. On the CR48 there is an SD card slot. As of right now, you can't really use it to put anything on it. You can use some web-based programs to access pictures on an SD card, but as of right now that's pretty much the limit of it. So the theory behind it is very secure, very locked down, web-centric computing. And you have the conventional form factor, which right now is in the form factor of a netbook, where you have a keyboard, you have a mouse pad, you have a webcam. And it's a clamshell form factor where you can close the device like you would a laptop. On the other hand, you have Android, which is the most popular mobile operating system in the world right now, bar none. The Android marketplace has tens of thousands of apps in it, and it's a thriving ecosystem. Now, since Android has its roots in mobile, it has more of a mobile paradigm. You have touch-based activities. That's the way you interact with the device. You have customizability, where you can put your widgets, your apps, wherever you want. As you can see, I've customized my device here. You can move the apps around. You have the ability to use widgets here. Here are bookmarks that I have. Now each device obviously has their strengths and weaknesses. The things I love about Android is that you have your onboard storage, so you're not only restricted to computing in the cloud as you are with Chrome OS. It's touch-based, that way you're a little bit closer, you're a little more intimate with the device. You can touch exactly what you want and influence it that way. Like I said before, there's a robust app market on Android. And it's customizable. As you can see, like I said, I customized this so that it works for my needs. I put my apps where I want them and make it look the way I want it to look. And of course, like I said before, you have the widgets. So you have a lot of widgets that you can put on the device, and it makes things easier. It allows you to access things that you want to access quicker. Now the things I really like about Chrome OS is that you have multiple user accounts on it. So you could have this device for several people in your family, and each person has their own user account. So that's nice. That's something you don't get in Android. I also like the older or the more conventional form factor of a netbook or a laptop, because I can sit it here on my desk or on my table here, and I don't have to babysit it. I don't have to hold it. I could watch something on it without having to hold it or prop it up against something or get a case for it or anything, and I can close it down, and I have a screen protector built into the device here. So I actually like the older form factor better. The tablet form factor, you know, it's something newer, it's something I have to get used to. It works really well in a mobile phone because you're actually always holding it, and it's not something that you're necessarily watching things on, or at least I don't. I don't find myself ever watching anything on my mobile phone past a couple of minutes. I'd never watch a movie on a mobile phone. So having a tablet where you might watch, you know, a longer YouTube video, or you might even get into maybe watching a video or something, like a movie or something, it's a little more, you know, it's just like a magazine or a piece of paper that you actually have to prop up and hold. It would be great if this device had a kickstand of some sort where I could just kick it back and then sit it on my desk or table, and one that went both ways. That would be on my wish list for a tablet. But that just comes with the territory. That's what the form factors are on these things. But these are my personal preferences, what I like of both devices. And what I would actually like to see in a Fusion device somewhere down the line. Now, one thing I do also like about Chrome OS, as you would expect, you get the full Chrome browser. So you not only have all of your bookmarks baked right into it, but it's a very desktop experience that you get out of it. You can play a video in one tab and still hear it while you're surfing in another tab. It's the fully fleshed out version of Chrome. It is Chrome that you have on your desktop machine, on your laptop machine. Over here on the tablet, you do get a great browser. You do get a version of Chrome here with full tab browsing, and you can access bookmarks here. But it's a little more of a mobile version. Whenever you go to a website, it always pulls up the mobile version. You'll have to scroll down and select the actual desktop version when you go to it. Also, if you play a flash video or something in one tab and you move to the next tab, everything in that first tab is paused. You don't have all the Chrome plugins that you do on Chrome OS that you can put in here. So these are things, this is the early stages of the two separate operating systems. It has been said by people from Google that they foresee the two merging into one at a later date, or at least crossing over where they meet a little bit more in the middle. My perfect device would be a merge between the two. I love all the functionality of the full Chrome browser, and like I said, the multiple user accounts. I'd love to see that integrated into Android. Asus is coming out with the Asus Transformer, which is pretty much a tablet, similar in size to the Motorola Xoom, that docks into a keyboard and clamshells into basically a netbook. I'd love to see that in person. The only drawback on it is I think they're actually going to skin Android. They're going to be using Honeycomb on that device, but I think they're going to skin it, and I always hesitate buying a non-stock Android device. But that device seems like it's the closest to what I want because you have a built-in stand on it, which increases the battery life. The keyboard is neither here nor there. It's fine, it's nice to have, but the thing that I like about it most is that it'll clamshell and protect itself, so you don't have to get a case or anything for it. And it can stand on its own, so you don't have to, prop it up against something. Or again, use a case to stand it up, which is something I'm kind of against. Doesn't work for me. Now, Chrome OS has a lot of great uses, especially for businesses, because it's a lockdown system. You can't install anything on it. It's very secure because Chrome is one of the most secure browsers there is, and if you can't actually access the file system, then how are you going to put a virus on the device? So it's going to be great for companies that want to give out these devices and then use it for a virtual machine. So basically you'd use this device as a terminal to get into the program that you're using, and you wouldn't be able to affect this device or where you're using because it'd be very difficult for a virus to infect. So for that reason I see the theory behind Chrome OS. If you know anything about Chrome, each tab is sandbox, so one tab can't affect the other tab, and that would come in handy, like I said, in a business case, especially when you're using virtual machines and things of that nature. Now, another thing that is a strength of Android are the voice-to-text or voice commands. So you can actually talk to the device and make texts that way, make emails that way, do searches that way. That's something that's a real strength of Android. It's not currently on Chrome OS. However, the latest build of Chrome, Chrome 11 I believe it is, offers voice commands, which is very interesting. So you can see where the two paths are starting to cross. So that's going to be great when you can actually talk to your computer, talk to your Chrome computer, or even just your Chrome browser and have it look up things for you. That's going to be a definite plus. But right now, that's something that's found in Android and not Chrome OS. Now, I could get into the performance of both devices, but that's really not the purpose of this video. This video is just to show you the two operating systems side by side and to give you some insight as to what I feel are the pros of each platform and what I'd like to see in the future when they do merge. Now, I know the next generation of Tegra is going to be the quad-core processor, which I believe is codenamed Kal-El, which was Superman's name, and those should be coming out at the end of this year. I'd love to see a Kal-El or Tegra 4, whatever they end up calling it, device in the form factor of the Asus Transformer, where you have a tablet that docks into a netbook, so you can use it as a netbook or pull it off and use it as a tablet when you want. I'd love to see something like that because for me, that would be the perfect form factor. And then hopefully future iterations of Chrome or Android will kind of merge the two together, and I'd love to see multiple sign-in accounts on Android. I'd love to see a full-fledged Chrome browser on the device. And I know that will probably be coming, but right now we're dealing with some limitations on mobile computing, mobile CPUs and GPUs. But that should be coming fairly soon as far as the power. I mean, by the end of this year we're going to have the quad-core processors. It just so has more to do with the software end of things. And that's the direction I'd like to see things go. I'd like to see a convertible netbook between a tablet and a netbook that has all those features, and for me, that would be perfect. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, please list them down below. If you want to learn more about Android, I have a lot of videos on my channel about the Honeycomb tablet and even Android phones in general, so you can check those videos out. Also, I have several videos on the Chrome OS notebook here, the CR48, listed on my channel, so please check them out. So that pretty much does it for this video. I will see you next time.